Hello everyone, it's your boy Kev and welcome to the inaugural KKS Gaming Podcast. This is your boy Kevin and oh boy, this is by far one of the best times in gaming to pretty much start a podcast because today it is the eve of E3, that is the Electronic Entertainment Expo, E3. It is all going down in Los Angeles tonight. Some of the smaller conferences are happening pretty much right now, and then next week or tomorrow, whenever this goes up, at the date of this recording, it's all gonna go up. It's gonna go down on Monday, and then it's pretty much gonna end Wednesday with all the press conferences, and then the remainder stuff that's gonna happen between the last few days, between like Thursday and Friday, and then pretty much everybody's gonna be doing their speculation about what's gonna go on in the fall, what's gonna be happening, and stuff like that. So it's pretty much a good time if you're into video games right now. It's pretty much like second Christmas. It's like the Christmas, birthday, honeymoons, everything in like one. It's just a crazy time to love video games. And also, we're gonna talk a little bit about what also happened tonight, which was the Nintendo World Championships. And oh my God, they just wrapped up, and I gotta tell you, it was a time to be had. I mean, I sat down and I had my stream up, and I was streaming on one screen and I was tweeting on another, and just basically engaging with some of the Kevy Kev people, fans, strangers, whoever, and it was just it was a magical night. It was a magical experience. It was like Woodstock, but for gamers. And if you didn't see it or you didn't watch it, you missed a treat. I think you can be able to pick it up later, but man, oh man, did you miss a treat. But we're going to come back to that in a little bit. Okay. In some Nintendo news, we got a little bit of a early Nintendo micro direct thing happening. They mostly focused on Smash and Smash Brothers related stuff. And the big thing that is coming that everybody is pretty much talking about is Ryu from Street Fighter Hadouken. You know, he's gonna be a playable character in Smash Brothers. Now, this is pretty big. We thought, you know, Vader and Yoda and Soul Calibur was kind of a big thing, and then we're like, oh man, Pac-Man and Mega Man being in Smash was okay, and then Jason was in Mortal Kombat, but man, really, this is one of the big deals, because I mean, this is a character in one fighting franchise in fighting characters in another fighting franchise. So that's kind of a big deal. And to see that happening is really awesome. So that was definitely one of the big news. And then they had like amiibo support. So there's going to be amiibo. There's going to be of course it's gonna be amiibo. I mean, amiibo is pretty much a license to print money right now. So, and there's going to be more characters of that, and there's going to be more Mii Fighter costumes and decorations or whatnot, accessories and whatnot. So that's the thing that's happening. There's going to be a tourney mode, which is actually pretty cool, because it has the different rules of, you know, tournaments and such. They can be played weekly, or I think daily or weekly, depending on how I think that's correct. I'm not really looking. This is pretty much off the top of my head. This is pretty much from memory, but if you look into it and see that I'm wrong, and hey, it's not been the first time that I've been wrong, please let me know down in the comments or through on my Twitter and let me know, hey Kev, that wasn't right. And I'm like, okay, sorry. I'll correct that on the next one. I'll redact my statement. But yeah, so that happened, and and of course there's another character, Roy from. They talked about Roy from Fire Emblem, and they talked about Lucas from Mother 3. So that's kind of cool. So to see like Ryu fighting Lucas, fighting Falco, fighting Toon Link. You got two flavors of Link now. So that's going to be pretty cool. So I mean it's really cool showing that Smash Bros. Is showing these love for these characters that are basically fan characters. I mean, Shulk from I think Xenoblade Chronicles and Roy and a bunch of like the Fire Emblem characters, and also Pit. So that's kind of awesome too. So yeah, I do like the fact that Nintendo is saying, hey, we want to make money too. We want you to enjoy this experience. So we're gonna make as much money off of you as possible. So hey, it's pretty much a good way to give them. Hey, if I had it, I'd give them my money on it. I'd be like, sure, I'd buy in on that. So I think we've covered a little bit of gaming news. Again, news has kind of been light because really it's the eve of everything. So we're gonna see like a big flood of gaming stuff this week. So look forward to my reactions on like some of the things. Well, I'm gonna focus mostly on Nintendo and Sony. I really am not a fan of Microsoft because Microsoft doesn't really make games that I'm interested in. But I might talk about it if it's something that kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I might want to cover that for a little bit. But yeah, it's really nothing that I'm really that interested in, really. So that being said, all right, let's go ahead and just jump on into what really was awesome tonight, and that is the Nintendo World Championships 2015. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good tournament. It was hosted by Kevin Pereira, formerly from the Attack on the Show. It had some YouTubers there. It had, I think it was Andre Meadows was there. I'm surprised that Lamar Wilson wasn't there because I've seen him on like a lot of Nintendo branded stuff. Him and Katie, and I don't know about iJustine, but definitely Katie and Lamar. I would have been really surprised to see. I would have been really, it would have been really good to see those there. But to see Andre Black Nerd, that was good too because I was like, yeah. And he mostly commentated on the underground elimination matches. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's start at the beginning like we're supposed to. Okay, evening started off pretty good. We started off it was kind of like a four-stage match with losers going into like a loser bracket, which was like called the underground elimination. So as you if you survived in the upper stages, then you would go on to a stage. But if you lost, you would go into the underground and then have to go through stage underground elimination. So many of those were like of the basically the top stage ones were all like new games or recent games, or games that hadn't come out yet. And the bottom stage, the underground stuff, were like retro titles, but they had specific objectives to get through. So the first stage was Splatoon, and it's basically Splatoon, but it's the first time they made it a big deal about it because it's the first time that Splatoon is shown in a tournament setting. So that was kind of a deal, but it was basically turf war. It was basically a hand like like basically three, like three, four, 4v4 matches, and then whoever was like the highest score of each match moved on to stage two. So I mean, it was very uneventful. If you've seen Splatoon gameplay, you pretty much know what you were into. But I think the one thing that really kind of stuck out to me and kind of stuck out in McCraw is the commentate, the common. I think I'm trying to figure out the commentary. The commentators were like the biggest thing that really stuck into my mind about that stage, because I think it was one guy named DJ Wheat, and then I guess his son was there named Mini Wheat, and I found his kid to be kind of insufferable in a way. Like, I felt like he was an 8-year-old in a setting where an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old shouldn't be commentating for a big time game company and a tournament that has not been a tournament for over 25 years. Especially, and also when the tournament featured all adults. And I just felt like that it was a bit pandering to me. Like, oh, Mike's son is a big time fan, so I'm gonna have him commentate this match. I don't think this would happen anywhere other than video games, because if this would never happen. This would never fly for like NFL or NHL or whatever. Like, um, I like to bring, you know, oh, to commentate this match, we have a former coach, a two-time Heisman winner, and the wife of one of the general managers that doesn't really know about football, but really likes the fact that football has made her a living. So yeah, it was kind of weird. But I didn't hold no grudge against the kid. I just felt like the kid shouldn't have been there, and it was kind of unusual to have the kid there in the first place. So that's not really a bad thing. Okay, so then we moved on to the first underground elimination match, which was Legend of Zelda, which was OG NES Legend of Zelda. And it was basically a four-way, the losers of that bracket, it's a four-way race to get to to clear the dungeon of the first level. I mean the first dungeon in the game. Clear the boss and get to the Triforce, and that the piece of the Triforce, and that was the winner of that elimination. So that was pretty good. That pretty much, I mean, it was Legend of Zelda. It reminded me throughout that entire like playthrough. It kind of reminded me of like my brother playing Legend of Zelda. Because anytime I think about OG Legend of Zelda, I think about my brother playing it and just, you know, criticizing me about, oh, you didn't get this guy, or you didn't get this piece, or why didn't you get the flute? You should have got the flute. And I was like, I'm sorry, bro, but I didn't know anything about the game. That game gives you no hints when you start it. You basically start afresh. So these people, to see these guys just like tear into something that probably took me like, I don't know, like hours to finish in about like 3 or 4 minutes. It's kind of a humbling experience, but it was definitely cool to see. On stage two, they had a new, I think a new 3DS game come out called Blast Ball. Yeah, Blast Ball. And it was the first time anybody's ever played it. First, you know, time anybody's ever seen it. It was premiered at the tournament, and it was kind of awesome. I could kind of see myself, you know, on the bus, on a long trip, you know, with my cousins, with my baby cousins, and just playing this game. And I'm like, yeah, it was pretty cool. It's basically like mech laser soccer, and basically it's like there was like three teams. It was like two teams of three mechs shooting at a ball, trying to push the ball into a goal. But the clinch and the kicker of this is, if you every time you score a goal on the team's goal, the hole gets smaller. So it's very like strategic. It's like you have to try even harder to win a match, and basically best of 3 wins. So that was kind of cool. I mean, it had different like clutch points, and like if you get hit with the ball, you get ejected, and if you get ejected, you respawn. But it takes you away from the action that you could be contributing to it. Sometimes the ball has different attributes. Where I think in the last um, couple of seconds of the level, the ball changed into like a lava ball, which definitely offers a new way of strategy. It's basically like hot potato. It became like hot potato then. It's like most time they like it was like you could get hit with the ball to keep it out of the goal. Like you would throw yourself in front of the ball and say, "Nope, you can't get in. You can't get into it." And then you keep getting hit, then you explode. But basically, it was like an insta kill. So as soon as you got hit with that ball, you were done. You were done. And even if you got hit a little bit by it, it was like AOE, it was like area effect damage, so you were burning. So it was like it took away a lot of strategy on that. So that that was kind of awesome. So we moved on to the stage 2 elimination, which by far was pretty. I think that was pretty much one of the hardest anything I've ever seen. It was Super Metroid. You start the stage by trying to defeat Mother Brain. She's the last boss of the game, and then escaping Zebus, getting on your ship and getting out of there. The first person that can do it won the match. And I gotta tell you, that was some nail biting gameplay right there. You seeing like people losing it, and you seen them shooting and ducking and trying like, oh, should I use my lasers or should I use my missiles? And then it was kind of post pounding. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't have done it because I just can't do games. I just can't do games like that. I really cannot. I really cannot do games like that. That is too much stress on me. Like I can do Mario and I can do Zelda, but Metroid was always one that was kind of like out of my wheelhouse. So I was kind of like, nah, I'll let I'll let I'll let some other people get in that, but I can't really get on that myself. Okay, the next stage, which was the main stage, was the third main stage. It was Mario Kart 8, and I was like, oh man, I don't even want to be in the tournament. I just want to play Mario Kart 8 right now. I just want to be somewhere in a room playing Mario Kart 8. And it was really sucks that I don't have a Wii, because man, this was awesome. And it was like, but it was the new 200cc mode. So it was like blazing fast. I mean, it was basically like if they took the tires of your cart or your bike, and they just said, we're gonna take your tires, and we're just gonna replace them with circular wheels of butter. Because people were like sliding and slipping and trying to drift and couldn't get grip or traction, and then hit a shed, and then they're like, oh yeah, I get a mushroom, and mushrooms do not do anything for you. It just basically makes you go even faster and makes it even harder for you to control. So people were like slipping and sliding and bumping and falling off, and poor Lakitu, he was working overtime. He was working overtime trying to get those people back on track, literally. Back on track. And I was like, man, that is awesome, because I played 150, and that's hard. That's kind of hard right there. That's hard as like Star Trek calculus right there. So I'm I'm just like, I can't imagine how 200cc is would be like, but I can't wait anyway. Hey, one day I'm gonna get that Wii U, get that Mario Kart, and I'm gonna start slipping and sliding with the rest of you. Okay, now we're gonna go to the third stage elimination, which by far I think was like the most intense, the most, intense, strenuous game ever, and it was Balloon Fight. Now, for those who may not remember Balloon Fight was that game that people played, owned, and probably loved but do not remember. It's basically like Popeye or pinball. It's like people loved it, people played it, people were a fan of it, but people probably don't remember. I remember Urban Champion and Hogan's Alley more than I remember Balloon Fight. I never had Balloon Fight. I don't think I've ever owned Balloon Fight. And seeing it played, I don't think I ever will own Balloon Fight, because it just basically the level that they had was like one of the modes was like I think the third mode, because there's always like a third mode in these games, like an A, B, and C mode. So this was like C mode, and basically it was like navigating a wondrous maze of like these sparkly, shocky, starry thingies. I don't know what you would call them, but it was basically that, and you collect balloons, and the farther you get, and they tabulated all your scores. After each time you died, probably had to go through all the video and the footage, and the judge was like, yes, okay, that was 2,000 on that run, and it was like 1,500 on that run, and it was 200 on that run. So yeah, that was a job for them to do, and I don't wish nothing. I don't wish them, you know, I would wish that on anybody having to go through that footage like that. So that was kind of a weird deal too. Oh man. So yeah, probably Balloon Fight. Probably would not play it, and probably would not buy into it. The fourth stage was, of course, Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U, and yeah, that's a game that Smash Brothers I've never really gotten into. But that's because I've never really owned it. Like I got it, like they gave me a free copy of it for for the then it for the N64 for the Wii. Yeah, couldn't think of it. Mind slipping. But yeah, I got it for that, and I tried it for upwards about 5 minutes, and I was like, blah. Because I ain't like the way the graphics look, because it's the N64 and it looked like Play-Doh. So I really didn't care much for the N64. I could play PlayStation games all the time, all day, every day, blocky as they are. But something about N64 games that makes me just go, nah, I'm good. I'm pretty much good on that. But yeah, never played it. I've dabbled, but I've never really played it on a regular basis. So before the match started, there was, I guess, an exhibition match between Reggie Fils-Aimé and the second place winner of the Smash Brothers Invitational last year. So apparently at the time, the runner-up was like, hey, I'll challenge you for glory mode, and we'll battle it together. And then of course Reggie Fils-Aimé said, well, I'm gonna go get the game, and I'm going to train, and then I'm gonna come back in about a year, and I'm gonna kick your ass. And I was like, huh, yeah, I'd like to see that happen at the time. And apparently I got to see it tonight. So I see Reggie Fils-Aimé. Man, your name is kind of a tongue tie. So, but forgive me though. Anyway, Reggie, seeing old Reginator, go up against a pretty much a big deal in Smash Brothers, and he got his butt whooped. I mean, whooped to the woodshed, bend over, big old strap beaten. I mean, a whooping. a bad, bad, bloody whooping. I mean, man. And the cool part of the fight though was was showcased playing as Ryu. So I was like, oh, cool. I know, he's the guy. He probably has the control scheme mapped down. I wouldn't have picked Ryu. I probably would have picked, I don't know, anybody but Ryu. Probably Mega Man. Probably, you know what probably would have been cool if he had his own Mii fighter. If he had like a Reginator Mii fighter, that would have been a better choice. But the fact that he had Ryu and it didn't look like he was doing pretty good at it, I'm looking at Twitter like blow up saying like, jump! Why won't you jump? And it looked like he was trying to throw. He was trying to execute a throw, but he couldn't pull it off. And the guy's Jigglypuff just destroyed Ryu. It was funny, a little bit embarrassing, a tad bit sad, but it is what it is, though. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, again, it was an exhibition match. It was kind of funny. They did a lot of cute, cool smack talk. The guy was like, "Oh yeah, Reggie, I hope your body is ready for some punishment." And then I was like, "Ooh, we talked that mad smack. Smack that talk was laid down." So yeah, I mean that happened, and that was kind of interesting. Just kind of get your mind right for the actual match. And the actual match came, and it didn't disappoint. It was some good smashing. We seen a couple of executed smash hits, final smashes. It was really good, and came down after all that had happened. It came down to two players, one Cosmo and the other one John Numbers, aka Johnny Numbers. And the last and final stage was from the new Super Mario Maker. Now, I gotta tell you, oh man, I got to tell you, the levels that could be possible with this game, it really scares me. It really 100% scares me. Not to mention the possible dick shape levels, because again, those are coming. I don't care what Nintendo is going to say about it. I don't care what Nintendo is going to try to do. There are going to be dicks in Super Mario Maker, because somehow, some way, once you give people creative freedom, they're gonna make dicks. It's just that simple. I I wish they didn't, but it will be what it will be. So each player had to go through 3 levels that were made by Nintendo Treehouse of America, I think that's what they're called. And they were hard. They were mad hard. I mean, I couldn't make it through it. I think Kevin Pereira had said it best. I wouldn't get past the title screen, and I'm like, I wouldn't get past the title screen either, because I'd have been like, all right, let's see what this is all about. Play like 10 seconds and be like, nope. Because at one point they had like a tower of Bowser Koopa, not Koopalings, not Koopa Troopas, but a tower of Bowsers. And it was like, you see like a stack of Bowsers coming at you. You pretty much like, nope, and just turn around. So I got through the levels, and finally got to like the wizard-esque form of it, because when you're seeing people playing like Mario Kart for like, not Mario Kart, Super Mario Brothers for like um the last stage, it's pretty much very reminiscent of of the movie The Wizard. And if you've ever seen The Wizard, it's not a wonderful movie, but it's a wonderful kids movie. And if you're into video games, it's kind of cool to watch. It's really cool to watch. So if you're a kid and you like movies, it's pretty. I mean, if you're a kid and you like video games, you'll pretty much dig The Wizard. Probably not now, but back then, yeah, you might like it. Anyway, I'm rambling, but that's what we do. So it came down to a simultaneous playthrough between old Johnny Numbers and Cosmo, and boy, I tell you, Johnny Numbers, he played it like he designed the game himself. He did. He did. He hardly ever made a mistake. He was owning it like a champ. And poor Cosmo, who had like a 15-second delay, he didn't do too well. He got stuck during the first section of the level, and man, oh man, it was painful. I couldn't even watch his screen. I was just focused on Johnny Numbers and him like killing it. So to see old Cosmo eat it at the end was kind of painful. So yeah, so that happened. So I was like, oh man, that was just crazy, 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 crazy. But hey, afterwards, old Johnny Numbers, he became the World Nintendo Champion of the world. Yay! And the crowds cheered, and confetti rained down. Well, really, no confetti came down, and no champagne or anything like that bombast triumphantness. It's just basically a bunch of clapping and hands raised in victory, and old Shigeru Miyamoto came out, and him and his translator um came out and gave old Johnny N Johnny N the Game Master, Johnny N Captain N the Game Master. No, I'm saying Johnny Numbers, old Johnny N, his his award, his Shattered award, and a what was it? Oh yeah, it was a si signed new 3DS XL signed by Shigeru Miyamoto, which was really cool. I think I would have liked that more than the trophy, but you know, it was pretty cool. They gave them both. They gave them both signed new 3DS XLs, so that was kind of awesome of Nintendo to do that. And I hope that like the rest of the participants got something nice too. So that was kind of cool though. Oh yeah, Aaron from Game Grumps was there. He was competing. I think he got kicked out during the balloon fight. I think he was in like the third elimination, so he got kicked out in the third stage 3 elimination. But man, I was rooting for him, bruh. I was rooting for him. I was like, go, dude, go, Aaron. And I was just waiting for one of those like curse words to come out across the screen. But he was cool. He was cool about it. Cause sometimes I've watched Game Grumps, and boy, he has not been cool when it comes to video games. And I could see the look on his face. And I would have loved to see like a pan over and seeing like all the other Grumps, like his lovely wife Susie and all of his compatriots, like sitting out there, like, oh my God, she's sitting there biting her nails and like, my man, he didn't do too well. So yeah, overall, it was a good tournament. I enjoyed it. It was good watching it again. It gave me those good nostalgic feels that I love so much. So that was good. That was a good thing. So I kind of enjoyed that. I liked watching it. Yeah. So I guess that's the end of my Nintendo World Championship coverage for 2015. Hope to keep this going. And next, and our last topic before we put the blanket over this thing and put this sucker to bed is E3 predictions. I predict there are going to be video games, and they're going to be awesome, and they're going to be nice trailers. I think really the place that I want to see, and I think the place that's really got something to prove is Nintendo, because Nintendo's kind of had like a rough year. So if Nintendo can bring like the heat and really wow us with some like really cool stuff, and not just like bring up some stuff that we already know that's gonna come. Like, we know about the new Fire Emblem, we know about how awesome Splatoon is, we know how great Puzzle and Dragon Z and the combo game pack is. We want to hear about some new stuff that's coming out down the pipe that we haven't heard of. Maybe something about the 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 software that's the Nintendo software that's coming to like to mobile, and maybe hear about something about the Nintendo NX, maybe, or new Animal Crossing or whatever, or new amiibo support for the 3DS. So I really think they need to bring out the big guns for this one. Looking forward to Sony. Not really looking forward to EA, because hopefully they might bring out some nice cool sim stuff. Not really looking forward to Microsoft. Um, well, that's about it. Just pretty much cover as I see it. Probably get the reactions as they come, and report on my findings, and live stream, and tweet, and Facebook, and Google Plus it, and whatever social networks I got, and try to like contact and keep in touch with the people, because it's all about you, the people. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for me. I'm just gonna stick a pin in this. Thank you for listening to the inaugural KKS Gaming podcast. Kind of stammered a little bit, stuttered a little bit, and I rambled on more than what I wanted to, but hey, this is a learning process. As I learn and as I do, I get better, and as I get better, I bring better content, and as I grow, I always, as I grow, I make better decisions, better choices, and get better stuff. But like I say again, I'm rambling, and I'm stuttering. So, hey, but this is what we do. We play video games and we ramble. That's the motto. That's our modus operandi in this website, in this thing here, this organization. Anyway, thank you for listening to this podcast. If you like this, please share this with your friends. Check us out on YouTube, KKS Gaming. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/KKS Gaming. Follow me on Twitter at KevyKevShow. And pin us on Pinterest at pinterest.com/KevyKevShow. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a good evening, afternoon, morning, night, whatever. Whenever you listen to this, as long as you listen to this, and have a wonderful day. We'll rock.